Bismillah, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Asmi and I'm from English Education D. So in this video, I'm going to simulate a lesson process, a learning process in class, but through video conference. So this video is for my final project in methods of teaching, and today I'm joined by a friend of mine, Fatma, who will be the students in today's lesson. So without further ado, let's the simulation begin. Let me share my screen first. Okay, is it visible? Okay, thank you. So today we are going to learn about expression of agreement and disagreement. So this is a new material that we're going to cover in this meeting. So what is expression of agreement and disagreement? Kalau di Indonesia itu kata-kata atau frasa yang kita gunakan untuk menyatakan persetujuan maupun tidak setuju. In this context, we have two types of agreement and disagreement. So we have formal and informal. Apa sih bedanya antara formal dan informal ini? Perbedaannya sendiri itu dari konteks penggunaannya. Jika formal itu biasanya digunakan dalam apakah itu diskusi, suasana kantor maupun dalam pembicaraan antara guru dan siswa. Sementara informal itu seperti percakapan biasa saat kita with friends or with acquaintance or family. So let's see first for the formal agreement and disagreement. So here I note a little definition of formal expression. So formal expression are used in a situation where you are talking in a formal situation, such as in an office, a school between the teacher and student, like I said before. So let's see some example of the phrases that we can use in formal agreement context. So first we got absolutely agree, completely, exactly, indeed, no doubt, and so much more. You guys can see on the screen, right? We have so many expressions that we can use in voicing our agreement of a statement or something that our friends or teachers say. And let's see the example. So in this one, I provided an example in dialogue form. So this is the conversation between Mr. Smith and Jonathan. So Mr. Smith, viewing his opinion about the stage, so he said the stage looks great, but we need to add some more decoration on the left side. It looks too empty. And Jonathan agreed with this statement. So what he said, I absolutely agree, sir. So he agreed with the statement that made by Mr. Smith. So that's the example. Do you guys have any questions so far? No? Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am. It's clear.
Okay, thank you. We're moving on to the disagreement expression. So actually in agreement, we have two kinds. We have complete agreement. Complete agreement when you 100% agree with the statement, right? And then we have reluctant agreement. You using reluctant agreement when we agree, but not really that 100% sure or agree. So let's moving on to the disagreement. So the disagreement, I also provide some phrases that we can use, like I disagree completely, that's totally unacceptable, that's absolutely not true. And this is the example of the formal expression of disagreement. I also provide an example, and again, I provide it in a dialogue form. In here, the conversation between Mr. Wilson and Mr. Strong. So Mr. Wilson talk about a presentation. He said the presentation is too short. I don't understand a thing. And then Mr. Strong said that I'm afraid I disagree. So Mr. Strong didn't agree or disagree with Mr. Wilson. And he using a phrase, I am afraid I disagree. Okay, guys, are you understand what I'm trying to explain here?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you very much. We're moving on to the informal expression of agreement and disagreement. So, like I said before, informal expression we use it when we're talking about or we're talking to a friend, family, or acquaintances that we are familiar with. And then let's see what are the phrases that we can use when we voicing our agreement in formal context. Informal, I mean. So we have great idea. Yeah, you are right. I think you're right. Sounds great and fine with me. So this is what we use when we agree with someone in an informal context. And I also provide an example. It's a conversation between Tyler and Jamie. So Tyler asked Jamie if they can go for a dinner. But Jamie said, and then Jamie said, great idea. So Jamie is agree with Tyler. And the phrase that Jamie used here is great idea. I think the explanation in my example is pretty clear, right? I hope you guys can understand that. Okay, let's moving on to the also I also want to note that like in the formal context we have a complete and relevant agreement in informal context in this situation. And for the relevant agreement we have I have to admit it that you are right and also well maybe you are right. You guys can see the example in the screen. I'll send the PPT in the WhatsApp group so you guys can study it further later when this session is ended. Okay, let's moving on to the last one. We have the disagreement in informal context. So we have several phrases like you got to be kidding or joking, you can't be serious, that's ridiculous, and I couldn't agree less. So this is the phrase that we use when we disagree with someone in informal context. So this in the screen, you guys can see the example. So again, this is the conversation between Tyler and Jamie. So this time, so the question are the same with the previous example, but this time Jamie are disagree with Tyler. So he say you can't be serious. So when Tyler asks Jamie if he wants to stop for a dinner, Jamie say you can't be serious. The game will be start soon, and I don't want to miss the first period. So that's it for the example and the explanation. You guys want to ask something or maybe still confused about the materials, or are we clear? Okay, is it clear? Is it clear? Let me give you an exercise. Yes.
It's clear, ma'am.
Okay, thank you very much. So I had let me say a statement. So
Ma'am.
okay, let me say we are in the office and you visit me for assigning your assignment. So you want to turn in your assignment and you visit my office, and I said, look at that. Isn't it my new painting is beautiful? And okay, so for who wants to answer that, let me hear what you gonna say if you agree with the statement.
I'm sorry, ma'am, but the screen is still not in the exercise. I just see disagreement. PPT
Oh,
in
okay.
disagreement for
Okay, let me just put it in bahasa because I didn't put it in my PPT, the exercises. So kalian ini ke kantor saya dan saya mengatakan
okay.
bahwa bukankah how do you say that, painting Indonesia, bukan? Bagaimana lukisan baru saya? Apakah itu sangat indah? Bagaimana menurutmu? What do you gonna say if you agree with me?
I think I will say, yes, miss. I absolutely agree. It's so pretty.
Okay, and that's in informal context, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you very much. And one more, okay, let's see, one more exercise. Let's see, we're talking, we are friends. We are friends and we are in canteen. Okay, is it my voice unclear?
Your voice is not really clear, ma'am.
Okay, let me say in bahasa. So, kita sedang makan di kantin dan saya sedang makan nasi goreng dan saya rasa itu nasi gorengnya sangat pedis. So I say, wow, this rice is so spicy. I can eat it. So what do you gotta say if you agree with me? And what do you gotta say if you disagree?
Maybe if I agree, I will say, yeah, you are right. My mouth is on fire. Meanwhile, if I disagree, I think I will say, I couldn't agree less. It's not spicy at all. I think that's all.
Thank you very much. That was a very nice answer. I think you guys already understand the materials and I have provided some examples. And also I'm going to send this PPT to your WhatsApp group. So if you want to read it furthermore, you can check the PPT that I sent later. So we have still much time left for this for today's class. So I'm going to assign you a practice. So I'm going to send you a task that you have to complete by the end of the class. I also gonna send this PPT again to the WhatsApp group. So you guys, if you wanted to say something, you wanted to ask me something, if there is any explanation that is still unclear, you can chat me in a group chat so we can finish it. So I can reply in WhatsApp group if you still have a question. Okay, I think that's all for our video conference today, our video session. Let's moving on to the WhatsApp group if you guys want to discuss
Okay, ma'am. Thank
something.
you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you very much for your participation. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you guys. Sudah.